Hello everyone, my name's Shislensky and I'm here today to show you how to make this a ComputerCraft controlled remotely powered airship. Um, so this design is heavily based on the EG Drive Mark 6.4 by Team Pants Madness. I'll put a link in the description on their channel so you can have a look at their designs. They came up with a bunch of different designs trying to come up with the perfect airship. So this is based heavily on that. However, I've replaced all the solar panels with a remote power system. So what do I mean by that? Essentially, instead of putting all your solar panels on top of the machine, what you do is have a remote system where you have this kind of machine which automatically charges up BT batteries, which are pumped and stored in an ender chest, and then on your airship you have another ender chest that pumps them out and charges up a single battery box. So what are the advantages of that? Pretty much you save on a bunch of resources because you only have to have 2 battery boxes. You can have the same recharging station for every airship you make, so you save on a bunch of solar panels. And most importantly, your airship doesn't rely on the sun, so you can actually fly them underground and make big tunnel bores or quarries. I've made a tunnel bore airship on my survival server. I'll put a short clip of that at the end of the video so you can see the kind of thing you can do with this. Alright, so I'll just demonstrate its ComputerCraft controls. So it's all linked up to this computer here. This is the interface for it. So as you would expect, forward, you can watch it happen in the background, backwards, left, left, right, up, and down. You can't spam it too quickly, otherwise if you see at the bottom it says moving, please wait, so if you click again it won't work. However, this little section on here shows you how many blocks you're going to move, so you can pump that up to say 5 or more, whatever, and then press down. 1, 2, 3, and it's hit the ground. But you'll note that if I try and go back up 1, it's not broken. So this airship can crash in any direction and still work, thanks to this design. So how about we try and make it? Okay, first things first. To get our airship working, you're going to need to give it power. So I'll demonstrate how to make this remote powering charging system. So you can charge your batteries with either solar panels or thermopiles. It doesn't really matter. And it doesn't matter how many of these solar panels you have, but the more the better, the faster it'll work and the more airships you can power all at once. So you just place some solar panels and a battery box. Now next to that, on top of that battery box actually, you need to place some redstone pneumatic tube. There we go. Oop, wrong one. Redstone pneumatic tube. Now it has to be redstone pneumatic tube. And on top of that, you have 1 retriever and 1 filter. Where are we? Filter. So the filter is pointing up and the transposer and the retriever is pointing down. So the retriever is going to suck out charged batteries and the filter is going to put in new uncharged batteries. So you can put a piece of normal pneumatic tube there. Doesn't matter, doesn't have to be redstone, doesn't matter if it is, either way. Now you need to put an ender chest. So I'll just grab this ender chest and I'll pop that on top. Now, if you haven't worked with ender chest before, essentially these 3 colours on the top indicate what ender chest it is, and you colour those bits with dye. So they're essentially little bits of wool. So for me, in this example, I'll just make them all green. There we are. So now we have an ender chest with green bits. Now any ender chest I make that has 3 green bits of wool on top will come out, will share the same inventory pretty much. Alright, now you're going to need a bunch of empty batteries, so we'll just get those BT batteries and we'll pop them in our chest and put one into our filter. So our filter will suck out empty batteries and put them into the top of the battery box. Now the top of the battery box is where you charge the battery and the bottom is where you uncharge it. So we'll put that filled battery inside the retriever. Next, the retriever is going to need its own source of power. Let's make it daytime. So we'll just charge that retriever using this. So this is blue wool jacketed blue wire. It has to be some jacketed wire. Doesn't matter what color it is. I just like to use blue wool so that I know that's bluetricity going through there. Next, you'll need to give these two machines a pulse, and so we can pulse that through the redstone pneumatic tube. So what I'll get for that is some red wool jacketed wire. So this is red wool jacketed wire, not blue wire. Doesn't matter, again, doesn't matter what it is jacketed with. I just like to use red for redstone. And on that you'll place a timer. So that timer will tick away. It ticks and hits both these machines. So the filter will pull out the empty battery, put it in the top. As soon as it's full, it'll come back out and into the ender chest. Now, this doesn't have to be at 2 seconds. 10 seconds or less is probably enough. There we go. You've got your remote power station. Alright, now that you've made your remote power station, it's time to make the airship. Now, if you're not familiar with frames, I'll just recap this point. On the side of a piece of frame, you can place either covers or panels. So this is a cover and this is a panel. Throughout this, I'll always have panels to be red and covers are going to be black or this glass. Now, the important thing is that with covers, they do not attach to extra blocks. So if I move this piece of frame with a motor, it will not attach to this this piece of frame because there is a cover there. If I put one here, it's attached to that panel, so that panel will grab onto things. So if I move this, it will move that one with it. Now, panels have these little what are they, brackets, I guess, on this texture pack. This texture pack, by the way, is Sfax BDcraft. It's a very nice texture pack, recommend it. So again, panels will have these corners and covers will not. They have that clean edge. Keep that in mind. Now, to build our airship, starting off the ground, what you do is make a 4x4 base. So if you're going to make this on a survival, you're going to need a jetpack or a bunch of scaffolding so that you can make this. I'm making it on creative for now, just to make this tutorial a bit easier. The next thing to do is build up 2 in each corner, and then build another 4x4 frame on top. Like that. Now, what you want to do is get some glass covers. Now it's important that these are covers, and put them on these 4 frames in the middle. Now it can be any type of cover, but I like to use glass ones, and you'll see why in a second. Now the next thing we're going to do is place down our frame motors. So place them down. Now to rotate a frame motor, you just right click on it. That just changes the direction of the arrow. If it's up the wrong way like that one is, you have to hold down shift and right click till it's up the right way. So this is going to be the front of our airship. I'll mark that out so we all remember. That's the front. So we want this motor to be going forward, this one to be going to the right, that one going backwards, and that one going to the left. Next, you can place 4 more frames on top, frame motors on top, and you're going to have to rotate these ones again using shift click. So shift click, that's either the top or bottom, so that's wrong. So now it's up the right way, it's just facing the wrong direction. So just normal right click those ones until it's facing the same direction, and you can tell based on the texture. So that's pointing the same way as that one. So we'll go around to the other side, do the same thing. So it's up the right way now, and now it's spun the right direction. Oop. Again here, shift click, it's up the right way, spin it around. There we go. And last one, up the right way, it's already right. So now you can just double check that through the top, because we used glass covers. If you used any other cover, you wouldn't be able to check. But there you go, that's right. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is, this is the front. So on the front, you remove these 2 spots, don't need them, and place a panel on that one. And then on that, you will place a wireless, what do they call, wireless receiver. And then above that wireless receiver, you'll place a bit of red alloy wire. Now you can make these frequencies whatever you want, but just for just to make it easy, I'm going to make that one 1. Coming around to, we'll do the back first. Now the back is different to the front. The back, you will leave these 2 bits here, and you're going to place down some more panels. I keep forgetting which one's panels and which one's covers, but there you go. Panels, place your redstone receiver there, make that 2, and red alloy there, and also there. Now this is the right hand side, so same thing here. What you're going to do is remove that panel, you can leave that one, and place a wireless receiver there. I'll make this one 4, and put a bit of red alloy there. And on this side, remove this one, panel, yes, panel, receiver, bit of redstone, make that 3. So 1 is forward, 2 is back, left is 3, right is 4. Good. Now that you've done that, what we'll do is we'll put in some blue wire in. So again, I'm going to use the blue wool jacketed blue wire. So on the front, what you'll have is blue wire on all these 3 bits. On the left and right, you'll put it in these gaps, and on the back, you'll put it in that 1 gap. So, just to explain how this works in case you're interested, what happens is, say for forward, we turn on this receiver and it'll power this motor. This motor will push this motor out to this position. When this motor is out in this position, it'll be powered by this red alloy wire, and it'll push, using this frame, it'll push the whole airship across 1 block. And that's the same on each side. So for the right, this will power the right motor, which will push this engine out, which will then grab onto this frame and push it all out. That's how that works. Alright, next, so we've got, just looking at this, we've got our forward, right, left and back. And so we're going to need our up and down. Now to get your up and down, put 2 frames there, and a couple all the way up there. Again, I'm going to use glass, so put a glass cover here and here. Now on this side, you put 2 engines, frame motors, one pointing down, one pointing up. Change back to day, and then on the front of those you're going to do another 2, and then again you want this one pointing up and that one pointing down, so those 2 are the same and those 2 are the same. Now again, you're going to put panels here and here, wireless receivers there and there. This one will make 5 red alloy, this one will make 6, and red alloy. So these work the exact same way. This is the up motor. You can see through there, so they're the correct direction. This is up, and this is down. Alright, now that you have all the frame motors in place, we're going to start working on giving them more power. So to do that, I'm going to place some blue wire here, here, and then a battery box here. So this battery box is going to supply power to the entire airship. So next you put some frames here. These frames are going to hold all those things there. Put some frames up along there. Now it's symmetrical. Okay, so you're going to need to be able to pump batteries in and out of this battery box. So when you're charging the battery box, batteries have to go in the bottom slot. When you're charging, they go on the top. So going to need to put a bit of pneumatic tube there. Just normal pneumatic tube is fine. There and there. Oop. Make sure it's normal tube actually, because you don't want it to be redstone, because if it is, it might affect that engine when it comes down. So normal tube there, and blue wire across there. So you've got a pneumatic tube and blue wire running across together. Next, you're going to need some redstone tube, 2 pieces of redstone tube, and then you're going to need some retrievers. One retriever is going to go there, and the other is going to go here. So you want one facing that way and one facing the other way. Now, the power for Bluetricity can go straight through these retrievers, which is good because you're going to put blue wire here, here, and here. So the battery can now go pass its power through here and up to these front engines. And power passes between the engines, so we only need to power one of them, and it's going to power everything. Awesome. Now, next thing, place some normal pneumatic tube here, and then we're going to need to get our ender chest. So I'll just copy this ender chest, and place it there. Now, you're going to have to make sure it has the same colors as your other one. So our one had green all the way along it. Green, green, green. So what's going to happen is that this retriever is going to pull out empty batteries and put them straight into the chest, and this retriever is going to pull out full batteries and send them up to the battery box. So you're going to need to put them in there. So I'll grab a full battery and I'll grab an empty battery. So one of them, so it doesn't matter which one's which actually. This one can, oh it does actually matter, because this one's pulling from there. It has to pull out empty batteries and spit them out into the chest. This one's going to pull out full batteries and put them into the battery box. Alright, so now you're going to need to send these two machines a pulse. You can do that again via these redstone tubes. So we'll place some panels there and there. Place a bit of red alloy there, and then I'll get my red wool jacketed wire and I'll put it there so it's attaching to the pipe, and now a timer. And so you can put the timer there, so put that up to say 10 seconds, that'll be enough. So these haven't got any power at the moment, so they're not going to be able to do their function. So we need to charge our battery a little bit. So get out about 4 batteries, put them in the bottom, let that one charge up, swap it out, charge another one, swap it out. Now I think that should be enough now. Let's see if it pulls it out. Wait for the timer to tick. Yep, there we go. So you can see the batteries swapping over and another one going in there. Lovely. Put them back in the chest. Now we have to add a bunch of more frames to this, because at the moment a lot of these things are not being held in place. So you're going to need to put frame here and here. That's going to hold this tube. And you're going to need to put a frame here and here. That's going to hold the tube and this chest. You don't have to have a frame here, but I would put one there. I think I advise filling in all the gaps, because if you have empty gaps, in rare circumstances you can get stuck. For instance, if you're flying into some lava, a bit of lava can fall down into this area, and if it falls into this area it can attach itself to this frame, and then you'll just have lava falling off your ship wherever you go. So I recommend filling that in. Let's just make sure everything else is being held in place. So this part is not being held in place. Frame there, frame there. Now that wire is being held. And that's pretty much it. Alright, looks like we did miss one thing. This piece of tube is not being held by anything. So you need to put a frame there. Now this space is blank. You don't have to put anything there, but I'm going to put a frame there, and then everything is filled in now. Beautiful. The only other thing that I would add to this is a world anchor. Now my airships usually fly off and do things without me, such as mine diamonds for me, so I want them to always be loaded. So I'm going to place a world anchor on there. And now we're pretty much done. So now what I would recommend you do is get some covers, and then cover the entire outside of this with covers. Now this is so that in case the airship crashes into a wall or the ground or something, it won't get stuck to it. So we cover up the sides. Yeah. I just noticed again, this is another frame that could be placed there, because there's nothing in that space. So I'll plug that gap and cover it up. Do the same here. This is a time-consuming process. Now you're placing these just on the outside, don't place them on the inside. You can place it on the inside in some places, but not others, so I just recommend not doing it in the first place. Covering up the top now. Oop. And there we go, the whole outside is covered. Now what you can do is you can put panels in all of these gaps. You don't have to, there's no reason to, except if you want it to look pretty. And I like my creations to look pretty, so I'm going to fill in all these gaps with panels. So panels will still hold on to things, so that's not going to affect anything. Putting some, wrong, started putting panels on the bottom. You need to put covers on the bottom. If you put a panel on the bottom, it's going to start picking up the ground, so you need to put covers on all of these bits. There we go. Now just dig down a little bit, give you all a look at the bottom. Make sure the bottom of your airship looks the same as that. Alright, continuing filling in with some panels just to make it pretty. Alright, that'll do. There's some other places that you could put some panels, but that's enough for now. Whatever. Alright, so that is the airship complete. The next thing we need to do is program it in with ComputerCraft. Now the first things first, you might want to just test out to make sure your airship's working. So to do that, you're going to need some wireless transmitters. Where are they? Here we go. 6 of them. Change them in for our frequencies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just to test it out, let's get a lever. So 1 is forward. Let's see if it works. Awesome. Backwards. Good. Left. Right. Up. And down. Awesome. So that's all working fine. So we can go ahead and get it ready for ComputerCraft. So you're going to need your 6 transmitters, and then you're going to need some wire. Now, if you use the same program as I use, so what I'll do is, instead of making you program all the code required to make this airship work, which is a lot, instead of making you write out all this stuff, what I'll do is I'll just put it up on Pastebin for you to download. So, if you're going to use this program, what you need to do is you have to use the correct coloured bundle cable. So for your forward, you're going to need green. Back, you're going to need, lime. Left, you're going to need pink. Right, red. Up is Up is yellow. And down is magenta. So make sure you've got that colour sequence. Join them all up with some bundled cable, and then place the computer here. To download my code, you can use a built-in function in ComputerCraft for Pastebin, just to download the code quite easily. To do that, you're going to have HTTP running on your server or your single player, whatever it is. So you check with your server admin to see if it is running. If it's not, you're going to have to ask them to activate it. If you're in your own single player, I'll show you what to do. Alright, to enable HTTP on your single player, what you'll have to do is go to Windows Explorer. Now, type in app data, so %appdata%, and press enter. So it'll take you to this folder. Find your Tekkit, which will be, for me, the Technic launcher. Go in there. Tekkit, and find config. Go into config and scroll down and find mod ComputerCraft. So you'll need to edit that with Notepad. So here in Notepad, find the line that says enable API HTTP and make sure it's 1. If it's not 1, change it and then just save and then reload your Minecraft. Once that's done, go back into your computer and you can type pastebin get and then the name of this file, which is going to be VJU2VN51, and then whatever you want to call it, has to be core actually. So this is the current number for it. If this changes, I'll put it in the description, but use that. It is case sensitive, so make sure you get it right. Press enter there, connecting, and now it's downloaded. That's downloaded the core. So the core is basically an API that I made to control the airship. Now the next thing you want to get is the user interface that I made for it. So same thing, pastebin get. This one is 004B capital L1YQ, and call that one AS for airship GUI. There we go. Downloaded, and it's got it. So now we can run that asGUI, and that gets you this. So let's look at our airship, make sure it's working. Forward, good. Backwards, good. Won't check the rest. Let's put it up to 5 and press up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, so here's an example of an application you can do with your airship. So you'll notice that this is the airship sitting on the back here. It's got some extra little sensors and stuff on the front, and it's attached to this giant bore head. So what this is, it's got a bunch of block breakers on the front that dig out a line, move across, dig out another line, and then go forward. So this is an 11 by 11 square, and everything it finds gets pumped into this ender chest, and then I have another ender chest back at my base that sucks everything out of it and then sorts it out. So this is all again controlled by computer, and the computer detects if there's anything going wrong with the airship and corrects for it. So if you're interested in making something like this, just leave a comment on this video or like this video as well and let me know, and then I'll make a tutorial. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, subscribe if you like, so I can make some more tutorials. See you next time. Cheers. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Ah, I'm safe.